So once again, it is the ManFUzed Podcast. Ben H. next to me. I am Kay Lee, your host, audio producer, voice artist. So today on the ManFUzed Podcast, Ben H. is going to give us a great example about how when you go above and beyond for a client, or anyone in business, or anyone in your personal life, when you sacrifice time and money to ensure that everybody wins across the board, you set yourself up to be appreciated. And sometimes that token of appreciation is fucking badass. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. Just talking to him about some of these large tracts of land he is melding together. We call that an assemblage in the real estate world. He is assembling.
Making it happen.
Real estate deals.
Assembling deals and putting them under contract. Going for developer business now. I've decided that although I will continue to sell homes, condos, townhomes, one at a time, helping people on the street, man of the people.
How about trailers and trailers?
Trailers, no problem. I'm a man of the people.
Have you ever leased a trailer?
I have.
You've leased a trailer to somebody?
I have leased a trailer.
And there was a commission on that?
No, I never leased a trailer to someone. I leased a trailer.
Why did you lease a trailer?
Me and Garge did. If you're listening, Garge, up on the top of Leadville in Colorado, Garge leased it, but I stayed there.
I missed a call from our fellow soon-to-be dad.
Yeah.
Have you spoken with him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I talk to him all the time.
Oh, like this, but you weren't talking to him all the time, right? You went through a period of time like
well, not intentionally. I mean, nothing was wrong.
No,
just,
but
life is busy and stuff like that. We probably talk once or twice a month. I mean, not an incredible amount.
Okay.
But no, he's doing great, man. And we leased it. But the developer business, developers are really underrepresented, and we're out finding them land. And so, well, I figure, why not help them find land and then help them develop the land and then help them exit the project successfully with their profit. So that's what we're doing now. End to end, A to Z. We are putting in proposals.
Turnkey package.
Well, we're doing turnkey. We're also putting in proposals all over the city to represent developments. Entire developments.
Oh, nice.
To list and staff and, sell.
And do you have agents you'll bring in for that?
Oh, yes.
That are already on board with that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got some great talent.
Are they part of your team already or not yet? Where they will be if you land those deals?
Well, yeah, I've got some in the wings and I've got some on the team.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I got a couple in the wings. I got a couple on the team. I got a couple in real estate school. We're going to go after it. It's an interesting thing because it's a lot of volume, but, it's a lot of work, too.
That sounds great. I'm happy for you.
And at the same time, I really am just dreaming about, those roadside barbecue pits?
Ooh, yeah.
That's what I want.
Well, I know. Well, Ben,
I'm going to set up a roadside barbecue pit on Highway 9 somewhere. I think maybe at Ace.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Maybe Ace will let me set up with my green eggs or something like that.
With your trailer? You're going to have a trailer?
Yeah.
You're going to do one of those, build-out barbecue trailers?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That would be dope.
Oh, it's going to be killer.
Ben H. is an amazing cook. He's a great griller. He's a barbecuer.
I might just do chili. Imagine I just do huge pots of chili, and you could sell the styrofoam cups full of chili with the little top on them.
Yeah, I'm not
You're not a chili man.
No.
But if you were.
No, but I am a fan of your Poppy's cock sauce.
Yeah, Poppy's cock sauce is lovely.
It is lovely.
I could imagine grilling that, selling chicken.
Or Aldo chicken.
That's the thing, though. You got to look at it and be like, what am I going to sell? What am I going to cook and how much am I going to sell it for and all that kind of stuff. As I was thinking about this, I was like, how cool would it be to cook steaks?
Oh, that'd be nice.
You know what I mean? To just have a freaking thing going, just come get a steak.
Like a fucking...
like a ribeye. You want it sliced or not sliced.
Right.
And then, as a bonus, I figured we could have, a cheesesteak sandwich.
Ooh, that'd be good.
You know what I mean?
That'd be real good.
Yeah, so we got steaks, and then we got cheesesteak sandwiches.
Oh, that'd be dope.
That's made with the steak.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to shave that fine. Or would you? You could have thick slices of steak.
Thick slices
of steak.
Big
on
cheese.
like a hoagie.
Oh, yeah, with cheese whiz and onions.
Ooh, cheese whiz.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't want cheese whiz.
Well, you can decide whether you want cheese whiz or provolone.
Maybe, yeah, provolone.
I'm a cheese whiz guy. I like it. I like it nice.
Out of a can?
Saucy.
Out of a can.
Well, I mean, really, American cheese, I think, is the white American cheese has that same kind of a creamy consistency. Kind of like queso at the Mexican restaurants, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't like the provolone or the mozzarella. I think it makes it too dry of a sandwich.
Well, it depends. When you have the onions and the peppers on it, it's not that dry, I feel like.
You just need a lot. You just need a lot of cheese.
Kill that thing on the door there. Thank you. Step on it. He's still living. All right. Sorry. Murder it. Spider.
Jersey Mike's has got a great cheesesteak. You get extra cheese, extra steak. Fire cheesesteak at Jersey Mike's.
Really?
Oh, unbelievable. One of the best. Well, Kaylee, I have an exciting thing happening this evening.
Ooh, do tell, Ben.
There was a fine gentleman who's a baby surgeon. He's a surgeon of babies.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how you say it, but he's a
baby surgeon.
Neonatal
okay.
surgeon.
Okay, where'd you meet him?
Well, he's a client
of
mine. I just helped him sell his house and buy another house in Woodstock. It was a trench war.
How long did you work on this deal?
I mean, it was a daily slugfest for weeks and weeks.
Now, was it buyer versus seller? Or was it you versus the elements?
Well, it was me versus the marketplace, whereas we had overpriced the house. And he needed that much money to buy his next house. And so we had to take a lot less, and the seller on the other side had to reduce a lot. So it's very stressful. We got it done, and as a token of his appreciation, let me back up a little bit. So this guy runs an exotic car rental business.
Ooh.
Using other people's exotic cars and renting them out to people on the weekends who want to rent exotic cars.
What's the name of his company?
I don't even know.
Oh.
But anyways, as a thank you for all of our hard work, me and the loan officer, he's like, one of these weekends, I'm going to get us some cars. We're going to go out and just rip it up. And I was like, okay, cool. So the other day, he's like, hey, how's Saturday for you guys? And he sent me a picture of 3 cars. He sent a red Ferrari convertible, a white Ferrari convertible, and a baby blue Lamborghini Performante Huracan. Which one do you think I chose?
Baby blue.
Yeah.
So you are going to...
So I'm going to be ripping up freaking something.
So where are y'all going to go?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I figure we're just going to drive around. To me, I told him, like, I have no desire to go park the car somewhere and go hang out inside. Like, I want to go drive, you know? So to me, if it's up to me, we're going to be going up to Dahlonega and driving through the mountains or something like that. And then maybe head back to Avalon and grab a steak at Oak, or head somewhere and grab some cheeseburgers.
Damn.
You know, something like that.
Well, who's your wingman? Who's riding in the passenger seat?
Well, he's got a couple different guys coming. My boy Damien is who's Aquaman's trainer. I think he's going to be up here riding motorcycles, so we might go pick him up. I don't know. We're just going to be running around, man. We're just running around like on the fast. It's going to be nuts.
Oh, that sounds
You want me to come get you?
Oh, man, I would love that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What time is that going down?
I think we're going to meet up around 5:30 or 6.
Man, I would love to cruise.
You want to see a picture of this thing?
Oh, yeah, I would love
It's insane. It is freaking insane.
So he just told his boys that, or people who own the car, that, hey.
How sick is that?
Oh, that's nasty.
It's so sick, dude.
That thing is.
He's like, which one do you want, Ben? I'll give you first choice
Where
since you're a car
ones?
guy.
Where are the other ones? Do you have pictures of the other ones?
Yeah, let me get him. He's like, I'll give you first choice since you're a car guy. I was like, I'll take the Lamb. You know, and I'm more of a Ferrari guy, to be honest with you.
Which one's faster, do you think?
I mean, they're all really fast, but probably the Lambo. I mean, if I was going to buy one, I don't know. It'd be hard. It'd be a tough choice.
Are these newer Ferraris?
Yeah.
That is nice, Ben. That's nice.
That blue color's crazy,
yeah.
dude.
The white one. So is the white one the same model?
It's a Portofino, which is more of a chill car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's still a Ferrari.
And so the loan officer's going with you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah, and we need it.
That sounds fun. And, well, When would you let me know if I was going to ride shotgun?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how many people he's bringing or whatever. So I'll just let you know. They're coming. I think they're coming to the house at like 5:30.
Oh, they're all coming to the house?
Yeah. Yeah.
So who's driving the blue one over there?
That's what I don't know. I thought we were meeting in Buckhead, so I just got word that no, we're going to meet at your house. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't really know.
Oh yeah, well that means there's 3 people.
I don't know.
You got to have 3 people to get all those cars over there.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
I wonder if it's the owner of the car.
No.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, fun. Well, it doesn't seem like I'll be riding on someone's lap.
Probably not. Probably not.
Ben, moving on, can we have a conversation?
Absolutely.
This is going to be a business conversation, and hopefully it won't go too bad, so therefore I won't have to delete it. But I figure why not talk about it, because it's something that a lot of people will face in the course of business, and it's a conversation that I think we need to address. So we have launched this production company. Up until really, we incorporated in November of last year, so about a year, right? But we didn't do anything. We have been 50-50 partners in everything. Now, really, that 50-50 partnership has been you pitching in 50% and me pitching in 50% when it came down to money. Mm-hmm. And then from, us doing a podcast, everything birthed some new ideas,
right,
and ideas that I have taken and I have launched into various other elements that are growing.
Yes.
So I would like to see how you feel about redistributing, or I don't know if that's the right word, a redistribution of shares. Because I sit there to myself and I'm like, okay, it's obvious and clear at this moment and up until this point, you have been unable to provide me with the assistance that I have been asking for since this thing's been going. Mm-hmm. I would like to bring in another partner.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that I should have to give up my 50% and split that evenly, because I'm the one that's doing everything.
Right.
And so, and I've hoped and still hope that you can, contribute and you contribute ideas but it's gotten to the point now where I don't expect you to be there.
Right.
Because, when I'm doing something or I need something, because if I have to ask you for something, typically it isn't going to happen the day that I need it. You've got going on what you have going on.
Absolutely.
And while you always own a piece, I believe, and I don't know, and that's what I want to talk to you about, but I would like to bring on a third party and be able to offer them something
right
in return for financial assistance, for setting up a sales team, provide me with resources that are going to aid in what I'm doing to where it's going to grow exponentially more than it is right now, because between me and AI, that's it. That's all I got. And it's like this too. Would you rather have 50% of something small or 20 or 30% of something big?
Right.
I just don't feel that I should have to sacrifice, because I'm already sacrificing.
Right.
I'm already. And while this is in my wheelhouse, like a podcast or cold calling and setting up everything and setting up all the procedures and studio build outs and things like that nature is not in my wheelhouse and not in my day to day. I do edit for the Burt Show, but typically I haven't been launching podcasts on a day to day basis.
Right.
I wanted to touch on that because it's an uncomfortable conversation to have, but you and I are boys, and I want it to remain that way, and I want us to remain partners. I just, as I've said in private, I need help.
Right.
And I need help in a way that is going to benefit all of us.
Right.
And I can't count on you for that.
Right.
But like you told me 3 weeks ago, I think it was when I was picking up my car, it was like the day after, you're like, man, I'm going to redo my schedule. I'm really going to start making some time to devote to, but you get busy.
Right.
You're running another business.
Yeah.
And I get it. I ain't mad at it. I still need help. And I don't think we should shortchange what potential this has by not using what is available to us.
Yeah.
And what is available to us are shares and percentages. And since I have been the one that has been grinding it, when I sit there and I'm like, all right, well, is it fair to bring in a third partner and then take from my portion like itself? Mm-hmm. I don't find that fair because I'm the one that's created a value as far as like income and this potential, which it's still stacking. I don't feel like that's fair to me to have to give up anything from my side.
Right.
I don't know if it's something that you need to think on, which is totally fine if you do. I just want it to grow. And I just, once again, need help.
Yeah.
And you can't do it. That's why I'm like, well, if we had a percentage to bring in or sell to a third party that could help this thing grow even more, well, then your shares, which are whatever we negotiate, that whatever we can decide on that you think is fair, well, then you're going to have a percentage of something worth a lot more. I mean, could I get down the road and not need a third party per se? Very possible. But then we're in the situation where you've got 50% of something that you almost have virtually no time in. And I need help.
Yeah.
No one can discount. You have been here, podcast. Every week we are this is episode 91. The reason we incorporated in the first place is because we thought we had these numbers that were going to be churning out this money.
Right.
And it turns out after moving over to Pioneer, the numbers weren't where we thought they were.
Yeah.
So the income of what we thought we were going to be doing at that time didn't happen. And then when we launched this production company is essentially when it all started, where we started using the bank account.
Right.
Which was just up until a month and a half ago or 2 months ago when you and I went in and set it up.
Right.
Do you understand how,
Yeah.
I mean, I hate it.
No, I don't hate it at all. I mean, listen, I think it's something I've been thinking a lot about too, something that we've needed to talk about because in a big way, to me, how we started and where we are right now are two completely different things. And, I committed to doing this podcast, to having a great time with it, to recording, to sharing in the cost of it.
And you did at 50%. I mean, you
not only
split
that,
everything.
To building a greater brand identity around it and to building out, products and services that are a reflection of the brand and
I still want to
creating ideas that as far as execution is concerned, I'm tapped out with my real estate gig because it requires an incredible commitment of my time and I have an incredible capital requirement in my life. And for me to go into an area, I don't know anything about audio production. I don't know anything about any of that. So for me to start fresh, green pea on the phone, doing that as a salesperson, my salesperson energy has to go toward its highest and best use. And although I would like to be a part of the success
you are
that's occurring, I mean, I suppose I am, but I'm not to your point, it's just not my role. You know what I'm saying? And I think everybody has a role to play. And me stepping into a role like that would not be, in my opinion, the best use of my time, unfortunately, because I love the idea of it. I'm part of the creator of the idea.
Absolutely.
It's just not my thing. You know what I mean? It's not the thing that I am going to be able to spend time in. I can spend intellectual capital. I can bring ideas to the table. But as far as executing on ideas, it's so much more of a bigger thing. And it's interesting to me because as I think about it, I remember starting the podcast and the podcast itself being enough, and the podcast itself being the whole idea.
Yeah.
The podcast itself being the big picture. And now, instead, this production company has created a whole different relationship because it's created this thing where, like, you need help with building a production company. You know what I mean? And that has kind of overshadowed the podcast itself.
And not saying we're putting in less effort or less
but
time,
I mean, like, our relationship to the podcast, our relationship to one another has a bit of a shadow over it as a result of the fact that, hey, there's this great thing that I'm running with over here and I need your help. And it puts me in a position to have to say, bro, I am sorry. I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't do it because winning at a high level is not going to equal for me what I need in the next 30 days.
Correct.
60 days, and 90 days.
And, and I understand you have had...
I only have 24 hours and we only have the amount of time that we have. So,
and you and I have had private conversations that weren't privy to anybody else, where I have, asked for help and you've kind of told me and you've explained it just like you did right now. It's like what you have to put your time into has to be able to kick off rewards big enough to pay bills. You don't get a paycheck guaranteed every week or every 2 weeks, unless you're pounding the pavement and you have those deals in the pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in real estate. Deals happen, they fall apart, they come through. You have great months, you have bad months, and so the market is very difficult. And so, could I completely come out of it and go into something different?
It would take a significant amount of money, guaranteed.
I could, but it would require me to take a step back. It's not that I can't help. In a way, I'm unwilling to, because I can't devote any more time to what we're doing than I do. And it's not that I'm not passionate about what we're doing. I am passionate about it, and I've loved it, and it's been awesome. I completely understand what you're saying, and believe me, I don't want 50% of the tax bill. I don't want 50% of the legal exposure for deals I'm not even doing. I mean, yeah, you guys are out there building studios and making money. I'm not seeing any of that money. No. And nor would I expect to.
Well,
but
money has been going, the money that the company itself has been profiting is basically going into the bank account, and we're using that money to set things up, like to where you're not being hit with any bills anymore.
No, and
I'm not being hit with any bills anymore.
Which is a huge benefit to me, and obviously I've noticed it because
I haven't asked you, haven't asked you for anything.
No, the editing and everything is a lot. But what I mean is, it's not like I'm drawing a check. It's not.
No one is.
Yeah, and I wouldn't expect to, because these aren't deals that I'm doing, right? I mean, I didn't have anything to do with this studio build out deal or this podcast launch or this audio production project. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, if you really think about it, it's not like the idea in and of itself is maybe it's just something that needed to be said, and I have a way of seeing things sometimes. You already are doing this for the Burt Show, and you were doing it for our podcast as well. So to me, it seemed like there's a company. You know what I mean?
Right.
That is a company right there. It's something that I love being a part of.
And I want you a part of it. And this isn't a conversation to say that I want you out of it. By no means.
But it's not something that I feel I don't have to own 50%. I don't want to get in the way of what you're doing in any way. And I know you're doing a great thing. It's been awesome to see what you've done and everything that you are doing. I'm super proud of it, dude.
And I haven't even told you anything of the last few weeks either. But.
Yeah, but I mean, you've been crushing it, dude. And it's obvious that you have really hit something which you are striding forward in.
Every waking minute.
Yeah, and you're just passionate about it, and you're just on fire about it, dude. And I love it. And ultimately, you came to me with this idea about a podcast and about ManFUzed and this whole thing. And so, look, I'm the co-host of the show. I'm the co-host of the business. I want to always be involved to some extent or some level. I would love if the company takes profit and I get a little piece of that. I think that'd be amazing. I want to do whatever you want to do. Whatever makes sense to you, just tell me, because that's been the way that this has gone. I mean, I think I have a debit card for our account, but
no, you haven't even activated it.
I haven't ever even looked at the account. It's not my interest to.
No.
But I'm just saying that that's intentional, because this is your thing, bro. You are the CEO of this thing. You're the captain of this ship. Whichever direction it may go,
I just want it to be best for all of us.
I mean,
and you're a part of it, and you're a part of the birth, and I always want you to be a part of it. We just need to come up with a situation where you're okay and I'm okay with how it is. Meaning, if you can contribute and maybe we get to a certain level where you're like, you know what? We talked about the whole music studios and and design, which is something that you are passionate about.
That is something that I would be more. Yeah, I would love that side of things. See, I get excited about it. Like, it's like building a home.
But I have to get it. But I have to get it to a certain point where I could be like, all right, Ben, here's where I could use this from you on this. And to where then we have something that's built in. Not only do you have a percentage of the business, but you're also getting paid for the work that's being done, because I've got it budgeted into the deal, right?
That's right.
And so therefore, where you could look at your time and go, okay, I'm going to get X for helping execute this. And then I've still got a percentage of the whole thing with a business. If you don't own one,
dude.
Typically we're not taking any money. We're just trying to stack money and have the funds to do and pay for the things, so it doesn't come out of our pockets personally.
Dude.
And you have done that. I just, like I said, I'll say it. I would like to bring in Pioneer as a partner.
Yeah.
And I would like to bring them in to not only help expand the sales team,
right,
to where we have salespeople, right? I would also like to bring them in a capacity, and I haven't had a meeting with Burt yet. He has mentioned that, he might be interested in being, I told you a while back that, he could see wanting to be a part of, or this be an arm of Pioneer in a sense. I think that they already have a staff.
Yeah.
That staff can be expanded.
Yeah.
And could help focus on what we're doing.
Right.
I have implemented AI things that have started campaign-wise using AI that have started to work, which is great. It took me weeks of figuring it out and having to try and figure it out and test it and warm up, and now it is working in a sense, and I'd like to add on, and I'll talk about that at a later date. I just think that we have the ability to, without spending a crap load of money, but using some shares because I think we already have a value.
Right.
ManFUzed LLC is already worth 100 times more than it was a year ago.
Oh, no doubt, dude.
And so I think that value is recognized, and I think we could use that value, a piece of it anyway, not all of it. And obviously, I want you to retain a decent portion of this business because you and I are boys. We're business partners.
Well, I'm also not a bad business partner to have.
No.
I mean, I'm pretty intelligent when it comes to these kinds of things.
You are. You definitely need to be on the board. You need to have a function, and you have a function whenever you want. And I know that if I really need you to do something, you'll get it done in your own time frame. Sometimes I try to give you notice, like before I really need it, to where, the deck. You've spent hours doing, building that deck. But for the trivial day-to-day stuff that, while it might not seem important to you, or it might, you just can't sacrifice your mental. I get it. It's hard for you to shift gears sometimes into something completely different than what you're already doing.
Well, it's weird. It's like, even as we're recording this, right?
Your phone's blowing up.
Phone's blowing up. Not only that, I have a commitment at 5:30. My last commitment ended at 3, right? So I'm going from a 3 o'clock end to a 5:30 start. I'm recording podcast in between. When I go from here, which this is 100% of my attention right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
There's no doubt.
But when I go from here to the 5:30 commitment, I'll be on 100% of that. And when I was at the previous thing, I was 100% in there. And the way my life is it goes from thing to thing to thing. And it's almost airtight the way I transition through things. And I'm not really sure how it got to this point, to be honest with you.
It's called a wife and kids and family.
But it has just gotten to the point where, so this thing will end, tonight, probably around 10 or 11. I have a 10 o'clock commitment tomorrow that goes to 2 o'clock. Then I have a 4 o'clock commitment that goes to 6 o'clock. And then Monday comes, and it's constant. In my opinion, you've done and continue to do most of the work, right? I think I would propose that you take a 90% share, and then I take a 10% share. And my 10%, that's just what it is. That's who I am, right? I'm the co-host of the show. I'm 10% of the company. I'm involved in the company. I'm involved in the decisions. I'm involved in all those kinds of things. I'm a part of the creative process. Hey, if I sell a deal, I'm going to get paid as much as any other salesperson.
Absolutely.
But that gives you 90% of the company to distribute however you best see fit.
Yeah, and it's not about me wanting more.
I don't think you want more. I think you were prepared to give me more than that.
I was.
But
I am. I still am.
But I think that that's fair, because I think that gives you the ability. Again, I don't want to be in the way. I want to be on the way. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to be in the way at all. I want to be on the train. I want to be on the way. Build this motherfucker out as big as you can build it. Get Bert on. Get everybody on. Fucking give them whatever the fuck you think. Give them whatever the fuck. I mean, let's just fucking do it.
See, that is a great, great business partner and a great friend, because somebody to have that take in some relationships, business and in friendship, this conversation could go a completely different direction.
I see this as being a $1 billion company. I see this as being a massive success.
It could be. And
you know what I'm saying?
And it will be.
As hard as you're working and as well as you're doing, I mean, you're doing somersaults through this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's awesome,
dude. It's picking up some great traction.
Yeah, it's awesome to watch. And so as well as you're doing, I have no doubt everybody can see it. I mean, if Pioneer does want a partner, that's why. Because they're like, holy shit, this is really something. You know what I'm saying?
Essentially.
Versus, like, remember when I broke it to Bert And I was like, hey, Bert, let me tell you about this thing we're doing. And he kind of didn't really care, but then he kind of came back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like, yeah, because
he was kind of like, oh, yeah, he didn't really get it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, sometimes it takes a little bit of, time to,
But
absorb.
now, dude, this shit you're doing with Matt, with this AI shit and all this other aspect of things is like,
Listen to this right now. So Matt, and this could be feasible for your real estate at some point, and he's perfecting it. But it's this bot that sits on your website, all right? And it's basically, you have it on your website right on the landing page, and it says, ask me a question.
yeah,
Ask me a question about the business.
right.
Whatever it is, real estate. Ask me a real estate question. Ask me a question about your podcast launch business, your turnkey. And you've already got it to where it is going to pull and answer every question you want. And then if for some reason it gets to a point where it's like it can't provide you with the information, it just connects your call. Or it says,
I love that.
Leave your number. So therefore it interacts with the person.
Right.
Like, okay, how much is this? How much is it for a podcast launch? Tell me more about it. And then it spits out, how do I start? Sends the link, opens up the page.
That's insane.
How could you use that for real estate?
Well, that's a whole nother idea. I think it's a whole nother like company, or it could be something that this company offers.
It is. It's going to be. And it's
so,
going to be packaged by Matt Robertson's AI fucking company that, what we're going to be in business with, but, and we'll help him sell and maintain these packages, to where people could incorporate this into their business.
Right.
And Matt would maintain it because...
Yeah, so how do we sign him on, get him a piece? And it's not Matt Roberts AI anymore. It's ManFUzed AI or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes part of it. You know what I mean? It becomes part of a bigger picture. Like all of a sudden it's a solution-based fucking company. It's a solution-based offering that goes production, podcast, marketing, AI. I mean, I want to produce documentaries. I think documentary production would just be fucking awesome.
Well,
I love like interviewing people and going and like, you look at Anthony Bourdain and the way that he did things around
great
food.
Late Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, and so I would love to do something like that. So the production aspect is incredibly exciting to me too.
And the media, I mean, Foo Media, will essentially be, any type of media. I mean, we will hopefully be able to produce documentaries, movies, and whatnot. Thank you, Ben, for all you do, for your understanding. I couldn't ask for a better partner.
No, thanks for all you do. Look, I want to be on the train. Listen, you're exactly right. I don't deserve 50% of the work that you're doing. Of course I don't. You'll get no argument or pushback from me there, bro.
You'll get no silver tongue from me.
How could I ever even argue that? And obviously, I've never asked for anything because that's not right.
But in my mind, when we took the production turn and we were 50-50, I didn't want it any other way. Because you and I have meshed so well on so many levels, and we have a friendship beyond this, which is extremely valuable to me. And, I don't know what I pictured. I guess I pictured you and I working in the trenches on this together, which that was just a vision. And because when the idea was birthed and I started, and it was like, I just envisioned that you and I would be in the trenches, doing this thing together because it was such a viable thing. And I think in your mind, you thought that way too, to an extent. But then when reality sets in, your business, which has to be your primary thing, I get it. Yeah. I understand it. I know where you're at and what you have to do in order to make ends meet. For you to start over on ground zero and essentially start a whole new business and scrap your old.
I'm an all-in person, right? For you to expand into this space would be like me taking an extra couple listings a month or something. Or it's like me going after developers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
I'm already selling real estate. This is what I'm doing already. I'm already in the groove. I'm already in the grind. I already know all the people. I'm already in the industry. I'm already a professional.
I have access to professionals and guidance.
Exactly.
And
I've got the whole thing. It's all built around me, right? It's what I've been doing for the last 12 years.
Right.
And now I'm going to bring this new thing in where it's like, all right, now we're going to start going after developers too. It's like, all right, now we're going to privatize this production thing.
Right. Totally.
You see what I'm saying? To me, that's a whole different genre. I'm at ground zero there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally get it.
And so that's what I mean when I say the podcast changed when we started this production thing.
The podcast is a byproduct now of the production company.
Exactly.
Versus the podcast is the product itself.
Well, it's like the podcast birthed the production company,
and now
the production company is carrying the podcast on its back.
Yeah, like a little bitch.
Yeah,
essentially,
yeah,
right?
Dude.
And so,
yeah.
and that is what's so cool about pursuing anything and being
awesome,
being flexible and being able to shift and change in directions that it opens up doors.
No,
it
it's
opens
amazing.
up, and we've been taking our listeners through a journey, and I hope it's not boring to them. But anybody who's listening to this can do anything they want.
Yeah.
Just start down the path, and
100%.
other paths are going to open up, and other opportunities will open up. And that's what we hope you get from this podcast.
Yeah.
Ben H., you are my man. You are my business partner. Thank you for being willing to shift a little bit.
Of course,
for
dude.
the benefit of what we're doing.
Of course,
because
bro.
you are a part of it. You have a part of it. And I always want it to be that way. I'm glad that, you're being flexible enough to, because I'd rather you have 10 or 20% of something big and something that's growing faster than 50% of something that is inching along.
Well, yeah, look, trust me, I've been thinking about it a lot because it drags on me that when you ask me to do something and I say I'll do it and I can't get it done, it drags on me.
Oh, I'm sure. You're like, fuck, I'm failing.
Yeah, I mean, it drags on me, so I think about this. I do think about it.
And I know it weighs on you.
In thinking about it, I have been anticipating this conversation would occur. And so that's how I already know what I wanted to offer because I already made that decision. I'll go 20, 15, 10. But listen, my idea is this. Look, 10% of a big ass company is a lot.
Could be a lot of fucking money.
That could be a lot. That could be, in my opinion, see, you have to understand how I envision this. I see this being a big thing.
So 10% of a big fucking thing is a
Let
lot of fucking money.
me go ahead and secure that right now while it still looks kind of small.
Correct. I mean, I hope.
And if you kept 50% and it stayed a behemoth and that was a lot, that's what I want too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to sell you a $5 million house.
Yeah, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit.
I want to invest in real estate deals.
How cool would that fucking be?
How cool would it be if this thing's a behemoth and then we're like, okay, we're going to take a percentage of the profits. We're going to buy real estate with it.
Well,
now we own.
We should do.
Now we have money invested in land.
That's what we should
or
do.
buildings
100%,
or whatever,
dude.
Because we'll need a big ass headquarters that we'll own.
Absolutely, man. Which is exactly what we should do.
Hey, thanks for listening to the ManFUzed Podcast. Join the show. Hey, not every time deals and conversations go down in a good way, but you just witnessed one. I guess my instincts weren't far off. Ben H. not only is a great friend, he's a great business partner, willing to sacrifice what essentially was his for the better of the company, to move us along even further. And for that, I can think of no other partner I'd rather have. Ben H., my hat goes off to you, man. And if you want to join the show, hit us up at ManFUzed.com, 770-744-5227. Subscribe for free on all major podcast platforms. And do us a favor, leave us a review. Share the show. Thanks again.
Foo Media.